We all think we know the story of Moses, right? The burning bush, the plagues, parting the Red Sea, it's epic stuff. But what if the real story, the one that really matters, isn't about those big historical events? What if it's actually a timeless blueprint for a struggle that happens inside every single one of us?
Welcome to Thinking Deeper by 6-7. Today, we're diving into one of the most epic stories ever told, but not as history, as an allegory for the human condition. It's really about that universal struggle we all face, that gap between who we think we are, with all our limitations and our feelings of inadequacy, and a calling to do something that feels completely and utterly impossible. This isn't just about some ancient prophet, it's about the reluctant hero that lives inside all of us.
So to really get this, we got to look at it as this powerful metaphor. The way the source material frames it is just brilliant. The physical slavery in Egypt, that represents a much deeper, spiritual kind of bondage that we can all get trapped in. And Moses? Well, he's not just some guy from the history books. He's a symbol for anyone, anywhere, who becomes a channel for a higher power to bring about real change.
Now, before Moses ever got this impossible job, he had to go through this radical 80-year-long transformation. Think about it. He spends 40 years as a prince of Egypt, a total somebody, and then the next 40 years as a shepherd in total exile, a complete nobody. This humbling journey, this stripping away of his old identity, was actually the most important preparation for what was coming next.
And it's right there, in that state of being a total nobody, that God finally approaches him. And the first thing Moses has to learn, it isn't some grand strategy or a battle plan. Nope, it's two incredibly foundational, totally ego-crushing truths that would flip his entire perspective on power and purpose upside down.
These first two secrets, wow, they represent this massive shift in identity and capability. The message to Moses is crystal clear. Hey, this isn't about you. You're not the hero of this story. You are the instrument, not the source of the power. In fact, you can't do this, but I can do it through you.
So how did Moses really learn that he couldn't do it on his own? Well, he learned it the hard way. His first shot at saving his people, when he was relying on his own strength as a prince, it ended in absolute disaster. He murdered a guy, he saved exactly no one, and he had to run for his life. Failure was the classroom. It was the lesson that proved, without a doubt, that he needed a power way, way bigger than himself. So even after these tough lessons in humility, you think he'd be ready, right? Not a chance. When God actually calls him at the burning bush, Moses is terrified. He just throws up this huge wall of doubt, giving 5 distinct objections, 5 reasons why he's the wrong guy. And this is really the heart of the story, this clash between very real, very human fears and a divine command.
And his first objection, oh man, this is probably the most relatable one for every single one of us. Who am I? After 40 years of being a nobody in the desert, he's just filled with this profound sense of inadequacy. He's not a prince anymore. He's a forgotten shepherd. Why in the world would you pick me?
Now check out the answer he gets. It's not a pep talk. It's not, come on, Moses, you're amazing, you can do it. Not at all. Instead, it completely shifts the focus. The answer is basically, it doesn't matter who you are, what matters is who is with you. That's the only thing that's important. So after dealing with his own identity crisis, Moses' doubt shifts to a very practical fear. His third objection, they will not believe me. And you can't blame him. He's been a fugitive for 40 years. He has zero credibility. Why would anyone, especially the powerful Pharaoh, believe this random shepherd was sent by God?
So the solution wasn't for Moses to go work on his persuasion skills or take a public speaking course. Nope. Instead, God just gives him undeniable proof. The credibility wasn't going to come from Moses' words, but from visible, tangible evidence of a supernatural power working right through him.
Now, this next objection is fascinating. Moses basically says, look, you've picked the wrong tool for the job. I'm not a speaker. I've never been eloquent. I'm slow of speech. He's literally pointing out his own flaw, his weakness, and saying, see, I'm disqualified. And the reply he gets is so important. God doesn't say, don't worry, I'll fix your speech impediment. Instead, he basically says, who do you think made your mouth in the first place? The point is, God intentionally chooses the flawed vessel, the imperfect messenger. That way, when the miracle happens, no one can give credit to the person. They have to give credit to the power behind the person. Now, if you're finding this exploration of faith and doubt valuable, please take a moment to subscribe and like this explainer. It really does help us create more content just like this. All right, so after God systematically works through all 5 of Moses' objections, dismantling his wall of doubt, the source brings us to one final crucial lesson. And this one isn't about getting ready for the task. It's about how you handle yourself after the victory.
And this might be the most difficult secret of them all, especially in our moments of success and triumph. The final secret is a powerful reminder of who really gets the credit. After all the plagues, after the Red Sea parts and the people are free, the message is loud and clear. You didn't do this, Moses. I did this through you.
To really drive this point home, the source material gives us this powerful analogy. Just think about it. On Palm Sunday, when the crowds were cheering and laying down palms, were they cheering for the little donkey? Of course not. They were cheering for the one riding the donkey, the human agent, the deliverer. We're just the vehicle. We're the donkey, not the savior.
So what does all this ancient stuff mean for you and me right here, right now? Well, it turns out this pattern isn't unique to Moses. It's a universal principle about how real transformation happens, and it all hinges on one key distinction.
I mean, you see this exact same playbook in the New Testament with the Apostle Peter. Here's a professional fisherman who's been out all night and caught absolutely nothing, a total failure. Then Jesus steps into his boat, performs a miracle, and Peter learns the exact same 4 secrets. I'm the one who catches the fish, not you. I can do it, you can't. It's the same pattern of hitting your limit and then relying on a higher power.
And this all brings us to the core challenge, the real takeaway. Our world often thinks what's needed is incredible talent, charisma, high ability. But the lesson from these stories is that what's truly required is high availability. The whole point is that God doesn't do extraordinary things through super saints, but through ordinary, flawed people who just show up and say yes.
So, it all just boils down to this, doesn't it? The true challenge isn't about becoming more gifted or more eloquent or more capable in our own strength. It's simply about being willing to be the vessel, to be available. So the story leaves us with this final thought. The most powerful thing you can do isn't to become perfect, but just to be present, flaws and all. And the question for all of us then isn't just what holds you back, but maybe what's one small step you could take to be available today.